let's see. One of them is going home. Both these teams looking absolutely incredible today. I mean, as I just said, Leftovers coming off just a wave of feeling good. Like you saw the cameras, they're looking happy. They have nothing to lose at this point. Then we have that other Dynasty on the other side, though. Today, they are looking hot.
Well, it's about that Dynasty play here. We saw it in the first week of League play. This Leftovers team able to knock them both down. Can they do it again here? They had troubles doing that in the regional championships, but were able to squeak it out. So Leftovers technically have it over the top, but this is the LAN. I mean, it's totally different, man.
Yeah, well, we've seen Leftovers start a little bit slow earlier on in this. They talked about it themselves, and they've been working on it. And today, it just showed. I mean, they just took down the world champions from Season 2. That is a humongous feat. And now they're coming in to take Northern Gaming, who has been struggling to get past 3, that third place spot, Season 1, Season 2, and this is their chance to prove that they can make it all the way. As we get down into game number 1, the Leftovers versus Northern Gaming, and an early attack from Northern Gaming as they try to get that first goal. We've seen really good play from the Leftovers, and they're showing early on, you cannot get that quick goal.
The Leftovers have been stacking that defense, showing absolute patience as Farah tries to move this down. He gets a 50-50 that plays over to Sicky. Sicky's gonna take his time, takes a shot inside, but Turbo goes for another one. Sicky over the top of Devo. Can he get it? It swings to the side.
He tries for that half flip to catch it and just bring it to the side. Thankfully for him, it didn't end up in the net. It was wide as it rolled past the net, and he was able to recover it. But that attack from the Leftovers is not over yet. As they try to put it on Turbo, just sinking one into the top corner, grab that first goal.
Devo and Snasky having a 50-50, something Snasky was rarely losing last game, but this one works out in the favor of Northern Gaming as Turbo was able to get upside down and play that top left, a corner he has been favorable to all today.
There it is, the first goal early on. Game number 1, lots of time for the Leftovers to be able to pull this one back. The Desk talked about that being crucial to win game number 1. They are down a goal. Northern Gaming looking extremely well. Both these teams have warmed up and have played today earlier.
What?
But Remco just bodies that one through.
Something about Remco in this Octane not losing 50-50s. You saw him bully one through last series. He's going to do it again here to Farah as that second touch off the back of his car goes in.
That brick of an Octane, Farah feeling the full force of that one, gets shoved into his own net. And 2-goal lead now in the first minute for Northern Gaming. The Leftovers have to answer quickly, otherwise they're gonna see this Avalanche start to take over them. Northern Gaming trying to create another early attack here off this kickoff. There's another shot off the crossbar. Third not gonna come in as Sicky does push that one away. 2 pushing up, Farah and Sicky will leave Snasky alone in their end. A touch keeps that one from Devo, but Devo trying to steal it back. Look at that, 2 touches in a row to keep that ball in the orange end. Turbo pulls up, flick chance, keeps that one low. Farah's gonna stop that one out. A demo will buy the Leftovers a little bit more time to move back down on offense, but they haven't had many opportunities.
Good job by the Leftovers as well. A quick transition upfield with 2 players getting involved as Devo goes for a fake. Doesn't matter as Farah's there to bring it back out.
Now Farah in the air dribble, usually easy to save. Turbo's gonna say, yep, it was, but Snasky's gonna catch that off the wall. Devo, we've seen this in a series before, is absolutely everywhere. Stops that one out, and now they head back down the other end. There's Remco to set this to Devo. He's watching, he's waiting. Sicky will send it to the side. Turbo likely boosts it up, keeps the pressure on, looks for a bump. He'll have to rotate out now. Northern Gaming doing an extremely good job of rotating on the offense, keeping the pressure on. There's always someone there to be in the face of Leftovers, and they just can't seem to find that chance to break out. Farah's looking for it right now, but Remco just stops in the way. Look at them, just keeping that amount of pressure on at midfield. Leftovers is having so much trouble breaking out. This might be a chance, a flick on net. Remco saves that one away. Farah trying to keep the dream alive here. They've had very few chances. They may as well make the most of this one. Sicky keeps that one low, no second touch. Remco off the backboard. Turbo Pulsa also off the backboard, sends that one to midfield. Devo with a missed flick there. We'll give the possession over to Sicky. Snasky, Farah, 3-man passing play. Doesn't get past the midfield though. Turbo Pulsa interrupts that one. 2-goal lead still with 2 minutes left in game number 1. Leftovers still looking to answer those first 2 goals coming up from Northern Gaming.
Well, they talked about the pressure from Northern Gaming. Was it going to be too much for this team of Leftovers? And so far, even though they've done a pretty good job on defense, Northern Gaming has snuck 2 by, some through pure sheer will. As Snasky trying to put this back over the top, it's going to swing down as his 3rd man there with Sicky taking a shot. Not able to find it.
grabs the defender out, but wasn't enough. There were still two people left for Northern Gaming. The defense for Northern Gaming was strong. We saw that in their match earlier, and Rogue just couldn't get past it any chances they had. Leftovers are finding themselves in that exact same situation. Northern Gaming is playing their game. They're not playing to their opponents. They're playing what they know they can do, and it's working right now.
Well, Leftovers is doing a good job on offense. Even though they know they're down by 2, they're doing a fantastic job of slowing down the pace. You saw Sicky there bait out a jump and then went for an aerial. Fortunately for him, Northern Gaming is doing a really good job of putting more than one back on defense, just making sure that they have the opportunity as a shot. Trying to come in through, Remco gets a touch, but it's going to be a slow roller, easily saved by Snasky.
Yeah, Snasky can keep that one out easy as he rolls that over to Farah. Farah will try to create an opportunity out of this, but he puts the ball out of his own reach, unfortunately. And now with 1 minute remaining, Northern Gaming still holds that lead. The Leftovers being shut out have yet to answer a single goal from Northern Gaming in game number 1. It is a best of 5. They have every chance to bring this back, but Northern Gaming is looking solid on the pitch. Farah gonna grab that first one with 49 seconds left. This might be the comeback.
Farah said he likes to shoot. Remco having to do a last-ditch effort as he backflips and plays up to a teammate already waiting for this Leftovers team. Easily put back inside, and then Farah with the booty drag.
The booty slide.
As a celebration, you saw him pop off last game. He's excited to do it again here.
50 seconds left now for the Leftovers to be able to pull this one back to a tie game. Northern Gaming has to be careful. Leftovers have every opportunity. These guys are talented players that made it this far to be able to bring this one back. Sicky and Snasky waiting that midfield as Farah goes up for an attack. Devo will clear that to Turbo. There's Snasky with the attack. Off the wall, waiting for Remco's touch. He gets it, but it won't be enough power to roll up for either of his teammates to take any kind of shot. The pressure's starting to amount for Leftovers as Northern Gaming is starting to feel that pressure. 20 seconds left. A shot, though, from Turbo Pulsa. They need one opportunity to break out of their own end, and they result in a goal.
This setup from Devo was absolutely perfect. Playing it horizontally to the wall so it plays right back out to a teammate that's approaching. As he comes through and takes a shot, Turbo Pulsa able to put yet another one on net.
And yeah, with 17 seconds left now, it's probably over for Leftovers. Northern Gaming looking to put this one in the books, but it's just game number 1. They have a whole series ahead of them, and they cannot let that get into their own heads. It's do or die at this point, which is a lot of pressure, but they've been looking good. The confidence is key. We've seen it from a few teams where just being able to stay in the proper mindset and say, we're still in this, is so critical.
Well, it looks like Northern Gaming's trying to break that composure as they put another one in here at the end. With Remco, another good touch and trap. Nothing that this Leftovers team can do, but a lot of it does come down to those last couple seconds. They're down, they have to send that entire offense, try to sneak one through, and because that defense is lacking. But as this clock is about to drop, game 1 going over to Northern Gaming in just a second.
There
as
it
they
is.
almost sneak one back in.
Ball drops down, Northern Gaming just feeling themselves with that last second goal there, just saying, you know what, we got this. Leftovers have to make some changes though. They got caught in their own end a little bit more than I think they wanted to. When they had a chance to break out, they didn't utilize it a lot. I saw Farah just giving the ball away. I mean, he had a couple of chances off the wall. He's got to look out for his teammates, though. He can't just say, okay, Northern Gaming, here's the ball, because they're just going to turn it right back around. And when we saw that, the second that Turbo had a chance for a counterattack, he scored. And the Leftovers can't give NG those kind of opportunities.
No, they're going to punish you for it. But Leftovers have a couple bits of excellence that they're doing. The things that they're doing well is their pace. The ability to go very slow on defense, slow it down, move it up as a unit, but then transition if they notice, okay, we're all out, communication has been good, bring that downfield immediately so we can get boosted back up and back on defense for another attack. So they are handling it pretty well. It's just Northern Gaming's offense is a little bit different than what they saw from Flipside.
Well, we saw it against Rogue. I mean, Northern Gaming, they ended up boost starving. I think Shogun counted. It was like 57 seconds
It was just shy of a minute. They were underneath 45 boosts.
That pressure is absolutely insane. And now, again, as we said, the Leftovers are starting to feel that pressure. And they have to find a way to break out. They got to say, how do we keep ourselves boosted up? And even if we don't have boost, what's our plan to be able to break out? What can we do even if they hold that in that situation? Leftovers have to think about that coming into game number 2.
Well, that's the beauty of these guys being the best in the world, is there's no one better at doing just that, especially the adversity that Leftovers has faced time and time again. But we're going into game number 2 in this elimination match. Anybody's game still, but NG is still on top.
Yeah, they just grabbed the first point. They're against the Leftovers in an elimination match. As the Leftovers almost let in a first goal there. Northern Gaming tried to grab the early lead. Sicky will save it, and there he is again. 2 saves on the net, and I'm pretty sure he's just been the savior for their team so far in net and on defense. Fair and Snasky, though, are going to have to start creating that spark on offense and get some scoring opportunities themselves. 30 seconds in, no goals yet, but I mean, Northern Gaming is just putting the pressure on. This is that boost starvation and that pressure I was talking about in that break there.
Well, you're already talking 5 shots in less than 30 seconds from Northern Gaming. That is unbelievable, one after another. They're lucky that so far the accuracy hasn't been there just yet, but they're finally able to break it out of their own half as they try to get a demo here from Snasky, just missing short, but in a dangerous position, no problem for Remco, as this is played back in from Sicky. Devo trying to dribble this out. It's going to settle and play it off the wall right past Snasky. Here's a chance for Northern Gaming.
5 shots in 30 seconds. I want to find out if that's a record. That has to be. That's absolutely insane pressure off the bat. And the leftovers are starting to deal with it a little bit. I mean, they find themselves on the attack, but there's not really the best scoring opportunities.
Well, that's one of the best things about the leftovers is even though all this pressure comes, they always find a way to make those saves.
There it is, 1:20 in, still scoreless. They did manage to hold off from that onslaught from Northern Gaming, the leftovers did, and find a couple close chances of their own. Not the same kind of pressure we're seeing from Northern Gaming right now. Leftovers try to break out. Farah rushing in, noticing Sicky was out of the play. Bumps Remco. He tries to go up for a pass from Turbo. He gets it, but not enough power. Turbo tries to finish it off. Devo getting a little bit close there. Thought maybe there was an opportunity to score. Solo play trying to come out, but Remco and Turbo will back off, knowing there was a chance for a clear from the leftovers, sorry. They are still stuck in their own end. That's the chance. Roof pinch will send that far. Snasky needs to get onto this one. He doesn't get there in time, and Devo will send that back. Turbo up quickly. The speed coming out from Northern Gaming. A ball almost ending up in their own net. Just barely a save from the defensive leftovers, keeping themselves alive.
Even though Farah's the shooter doing a fantastic job filling in on defense, able to make that clutch save as this ball hovers back in the middle. Seeing Devo up, playing that in the middle. But Sicky positioning spot on as always as he makes another save, but the pressure, Turbo, these guys filling in the roles very well.
Snasky wasn't out there, he gets a little bit of position. The teammate Farah was demoed theirs. Turbo makes his way out. Remco tries to get a shot off. A team bump there from Northern Gaming. Could be a chance for a scoring opportunity now from leftovers. Farah needs to get this to a teammate, but Devo is going to spawn in time and get back there. We did see both of his teammates commit too much, not recognizing that demo came out. That was the chance that the leftovers needed, and they weren't able to punish. And that's going to probably cost them, because now Northern Gaming is going to have a full team to try to create another attack.
Turbo needs to be careful as he doubles back there, but one-on-one situation with Remco. Luckily for Farah, it is not touched the way he's looking. As this ball settles back down, Sicky with a shot, fair there, but Turbo yet again in the way.
They're looking to create these chances. They're starting to create these passes to each other, the leftovers, but they're just not connecting. Fair just a little bit off in his positioning there, wasn't able to get in the way of that ball. Northern Gaming took possession back. They're trying to create these attacks. They're on the offense a bit now, and I like to see this, but a minute 40, still no goals. At least they're holding off Northern Gaming's attack.
No, it's exactly that. Being down 4-1 in that first match, and then to come back and hold them off for that long is unbelievable. This match going the distance. It seems the adjustments have worked out, as Northern Gaming has definitely been slowed down quite a bit here.
Sicky has definitely been that outwatcher for the defense of the leftovers. Look at him always paying attention to that goal line, watching. Look at him just waiting patiently, but it wasn't enough. He didn't see what Devo was doing, and they're going to grab that first goal. Minute 16, low scoring, but that could be the game.
Devo has been quiet, but today he's been spot on, making his name known here yet again. Beautiful placement, bottom right corner.
There it is, the only goal in this game so far. Northern Gaming did grab the first point in the series. It's a best of 5. If they can hold on to this lead, they are going to put themselves at match point yet again, looking for another sweep, and that's just not good for the leftovers. This is an elimination. If leftovers aren't able to pull this back, they're going home.
Not only that, but if you consider yourself, you're guaranteed a top 3 spot. That's another $16,000 coming your way as well.
Not too shabby at all. In the final minute remaining, leftovers looking to make an answer. Snasky with the pop forward, Sicky waiting, tries to get the touch. Devo's gonna send it to net. Farah trying to get in front of it, maybe not enough boost, or able to get that speed, and there is an open net goal for Northern Gaming.
The crowd favorite not able to get back just in time. Sicky was in the right spot, flipping through, but unfortunately his rotation puts him on the other side of the ball, and that cut inside. Yet again, this team of Northern Gaming putting on pressure. Shots-wise, you look at this, it's settled down quite a bit. They're only hovering right around 8 right now, as we started with 5 right off the back.
In 30 seconds, absolutely insane. You're right, though. The leftovers were able to hold them at bay,
Devo,
but not able to score any of them themselves. Still shut out in this game. No goals yet. Northern Gaming sitting up 2. With 30 seconds left, the leftovers are trying to pull this one back, but it just might be too late on this, and they might have to look at their most famous thing that they do, a reverse sweep.
If that happens, my heart won't be able to take it. But the difference being in this game too, we saw against Flipside, Leftovers were doing the best defense, and we're not talking because they made a bunch of saves, but because of where they stopped the pressure altogether at the midfield. That's been the difference maker against Northern Gaming. Northern Gaming is applying that pressure, and they're having to make those saves on net, allowing someone to free up a goal, and then the shots just come in one after another.
Well, we saw the goal number 2 go in because the Leftovers were forced to start putting the pressure on themselves in that final minute of gameplay. And with 10 seconds left and 3 goals down, Northern Gaming is going to set themselves at match point in this best of 5 to pull themselves likely into a 3rd place spot unless the Leftovers can answer this absolute domination with pressure from Northern Gaming in the rest of the series.
Northern Gaming and Leftovers both in a familiar position. The last time it panned out, the Leftovers were just able to come out on top. But this is a totally different story. The momentum definitely in favor of Northern Gaming, but Leftovers, if we know anything about them, there is always a chance.
Oh yeah, always a chance. I mean, what do we start this whole entire league playoff with? Them reverse sweeping. And they just kept doing it over and over again. And if there's any time to do it, Leftovers, it's right absolutely now, because this is an elimination game. If they lose this one, they are donezo. They are out, and Northern Gaming is going to move up further in the bracket to find out who they play later on in the day.
There's only one solution, in my opinion, for this Leftovers team, and it is one name, Farah.
Farah.
He's got to do something here. He needs to step up. He's been having a quiet series so far, but that aggression that we saw from him previously just hasn't happened just yet. But there is still potential. He's been waiting all day to prove his name, and here's a chance for him to do
it. Could be.
that.
I mean, I've seen him get close to it a couple times. The only issue is, well, I mean, I guess it wasn't an issue the first time he tried to do it, but he's had a lot of defenders in his way, and it's just he's been stopped out. He needs the help from his teammates when he moves on offense. He needs that support there. He's ready. He's ready to move on.
Turbo's just chilling back, laying back. He's like, yeah, we got this. No problem.
Best sub ever, easy.
Yeah, I got this. No
well,
problem.
They cannot count out the Leftovers at this point as we get down into game number 3. Ooh, what a match we have ahead. Can we see the Leftovers get a reverse sweep to keep themselves alive, or will Northern Gaming once again secure themselves a top 3 spot? The dynasty that is Northern Gaming. We're going to find out right now as we get underway in game number 3 in this best of 5. Leftovers facing elimination in Season 3 World Championships. They try to get an early attack. Look at that, Snasky connecting with a pass from Farah.
Clear.
Almost able to get an attack on, but that will end up back down in their own end. As you said, a beautiful clear coming from Northern Gaming. They just couldn't connect with it or keep up that pressure. They'll have to find themselves in their own end. A pinch going in favor of Snasky. Turbo Pulsa forced up to defense.
That was also a really good touch from Turbo Pulsa, the way he rotated his car to make sure it hit inside a little bit more. The angle of that corner just bouncing out a little bit further bought them time.
50-50s are called 50-50s, but it's every chance to turn that into your own favor. Make that outcome a little more likely for you to win those contests. In front of the net there's Sicky once again. We've seen him guarding that net with his life. Fortunately, just hasn't been enough. Northern Gaming sitting up 2-0 in this series. First minute in, they've held off any kind of goals from Northern Gaming. We'll see if they can make one of their own. They've had a couple chances, but a lot of back and forth at midfield, and not even just ping pong. They're looking for each other, but both teams are so aware of what each other is doing and making sure they intercept every single one of those plays.
Well, as the ball settles down, you see Farah push chat and get actually another
nice
touch as it goes over, but it doesn't matter as Remco is going to pass out to Devo. Sicky reads it perfectly, positioning on point still. As he pushes this down back into the middle, a chance from Snasky, but saved by Remco. His defense phenomenal.
Snasky couldn't get the read there. Sicky just trying to keep it out. He knew he had Devo and Turbo on him. A miss from Remco, though, could be a chance. No, Sicky and Snasky were neither ready to be able to clear that one out. Farah just pushing on offense. He's trying to be the Devo that Devo is being for Northern Gaming, but for his own team here, showing up everywhere on the field. He's just lagging a little bit too behind all the touches from Northern Gaming. This could be their chance. As they move up, they got to realize it's give everything, do or die at this point. There is nothing to lose. They may as well give it their all.
You know, for me, it was like Northern Gaming coming in for me was originally the #1 seed. Like, they were so dominant in league play with Maestro, and I was actually a little bit timid with Turbo Pulsa. It's just not the same. But the way that these guys are playing, it is unbelievable.
Oh my goodness!
What a shot from Snasky!
Sicky to Snasky, and he just tucks her away right in the top corner. An incredible play from the Leftovers to grab the first goal.
The awareness to recover, to play that down to a place where only your teammate can reach it, and then to doink that back in. Shogun has got to be so happy with the rest of the Team Rocket boys.
Oh my goodness, 2.5 minutes approaching now in game number 3. The Leftovers barely keeping a shutout from Northern Gaming there. Snasky getting a save as they try to counterattack this one. Two waiting Northern Gaming members, though, on the ground. Will flip this one right back down into the orange, and the leftovers hold the lead, but they have to make sure they do not give it up. Their key strategy here needs to make sure Northern Gaming do not get any attacks of their own and do not get any scoring chances. They're looking for another one of their own there, as Sicky was a little bit too far behind. He was waiting for the touch from Devo. It goes a little bit away from him, and now Remco has controlled the turbo pulse, so the pop off the backboard. Remco to keep that in play. Devo a little bit too far behind. We'll have to back off the defense. Now the leftovers looking for another attack. Off the ball, Snasky to come in. Good communication. Sicky will back off. Snacky off the wall. Put one towards the net. It will get stopped out by a defender of Northern Gaming. They're starting to feel the pressure. 2 minutes left now, and leftovers still holding on to this lead. We'll see if they can hold it off for the remainder of this game. Number 3, if they do not, they will be eliminated. They're looking for that reverse sweep that we all know they can do. Devo trying to get the dunk. Ends up getting a demo, freestyle demo. Haven't seen too many of those, but it doesn't matter. He didn't get a goal, and they're still behind by 1 goal. The deficit still will end up in a loss there. They're starting to get physical, though. They know they have to start making some changes here because they're behind.
That's so scary about this team's offense is they recognize that the pass plays and the shots aren't working anymore. The only way to get someone out of that defense is if they force it, so a demo coming into play.
We'll see if they can make an attack now. 1:18 left.
Double commit.
Trying to go for the reads. That could be it. Snasky has an open net. A 2-goal lead, and the leftovers are starting to roll.
A double commit here right before Remco went up for that aerial, and because Remco did not get it wide open, as Snasky's able to take his time on that one, up by 2, spreading that lead, making it even more circumstantial for this Northern Gaming team.
Northern Gaming has to be like, okay, what happened? Because they were feeling confident. You pointed it out before. Turbo's like, we're just going to chill.
Farah.
We're going to play this. Farah trying to get one of those infamous plays. It doesn't work out, though. Devo's a 1 player, and he knows what he's doing on that field. Stops out that attack from Farah.
It may not have worked out, but man, did it kill time, and that's all they're looking for right now in these last minute.
No, you're right. I mean, with a minute left, up by 2 goals, even if you get scored on once, you still, just as long as you run that clock down, you have more and more chance at success at winning this game and bringing this to a game number 4. And Leftovers is looking to do exactly that. 40 seconds left now. Farah sends one towards the net. Snasky will miss that one. Good attempt, though. I'd like to see that they're still trying to create scoring opportunities. They're still looking to extend this lead and say to Northern Gaming, we can score a lot of goals too.
Well, it seems to be that Northern Gaming is trying to force it as well as they send everybody upfield. Last couple chances, they need a goal soon. Sicky still being a nuisance on defense. Turbo puts a shot in, saved again.
Sicky is a beast in defense right now. Almost enough. Devo gets a touch to Turbo. On the goal line.
Put it in.
Finally finishes it off, but can we give credit to Devo? What a pass.
What a touch indeed.
What even is that?
Turbo not able to get it. I think he was surprised as well, but everybody rotating back in, sending the house. 9 seconds left. If they can tie it up, we go into overtime, and on match point, Leftovers trying to stay alive, the crowd behind them.
We'll see if they can do it with 4 seconds left.
No,
there's a shot! Devo with 2 seconds left ties it up. Leftovers did not want this to happen.
All it took was a kickoff and that crucial play from Remco. He was in the spot to make that save. It doesn't matter. Gets bumped out of the way, frees it up for his team. We're all tied up 2-2 with 2 seconds left. That's too many twos.
That's my lucky number, but not Leftovers right now as we hit overtime. 1 goal will move Northern Gaming on. 1 goal will eliminate the Leftovers, or will it be Leftovers keeping themselves alive in this? They almost had game number 3. They're looking for a 4th one right now, and they are not ready to go out. They have to give everything. As we get into overtime, Farah has control and tries to take it past Remco. It's not going to work. Turbo off the wall, puts that almost the wrong way. Remco has to follow this up. There's Farah still on offense. Sicky a little bit late to that contest. It will go back into the corner. Remco to Turbo as they move up the field, off the backboard. Not enough boost to try to finish it off. There's Devo expecting the touch from that spider touch. Snasky off the wall, nice clear, gets that down into the corner of Northern Gaming. No play to come out of that one. Sicky trying to keep up the pressure at the midfield there. Devo can't get a touch to send that down into the Leftovers end. Remco, Farah steals that away, a little bit too far of a pass. He won't have a teammate there to connect with it. A missed shot there from Snasky. Sicky will try to follow it. He'll back off for boost. Remco, Devo trying to figure out what to do with it. They give away possession instead. There's Farah and Sicky to create a play. Down on the ground, Devo will catch us off the backboard. Will he put it in a good spot, though? You see Snasky trying to contest that one. Turbo doesn't move it down. Over a minute into overtime now. One goal will knock out leftovers. Dangerous spot there. Sicky playing it patiently. Remco almost had a chance. Off the corner, Devo takes it to himself. No touch there. It throws Snasky out of the play. Turbo with Devo. He's boosted up. He has a chance to give that to Remco.
It's shot is sneaking out with Snasky.
Snasky keeps it away. Farah with Sicky have to be careful with this one. You watch them playing so patiently. They have to make sure every touch is absolutely critical and absolutely in their favor, or Northern Gaming will be able to punish this. Turbo trying for those individual plays. Devo will move up. 2 minutes now into overtime. Leftovers trying to stay alive. Northern Gaming starting to mount some pressure here. That's a chance for Sicky. Snasky, sorry. He puts it down into the other end. He'll get the touch in front of the net, but he has no teammate there to help him out. He'll try to do it himself. Devo takes it away. Farah in front of the net. Remco to take that off the backboard. Turbo and his teammates from Northern Gaming trying to get this one out, but now we see an attack from Leftovers.
Turbo is starting to play a little bit more timid. His touch is not as strong, but luckily for him, these two other players are doing a fantastic job as the ball in front of the net. Remco does it! Oh my goodness, I cannot believe they were to pull this out.
And Northern Gaming gonna knock out the Leftovers in spectacular fashion. The Leftovers so close to bringing back this sweep, at least getting that game, but it wasn't to be. And Northern Gaming, once again, find themselves in a top 3 spot in the RLCS World Championships.
They sweep their first game of the day. They sweep their second game of the day in that crucial play. I can't believe that brought them into overtime. Sicky was on the backboard ready to make a save. Remco had other ideas. He goes up, bumps him out, it plays off the backboard, opens up a shot, we go into overtime, and then they clutch that as well. This Northern Gaming team is ready to play.
They're scary, but right now, I mean, I gotta say it to the Leftovers, man. These guys came together out of nowhere. I think it was 6 hours before the registration ended for the RLCS Season 3. They got together to form the roster, and they made it to this spot in the World Championships. No one would have expected that. Huge credit to these guys, and man, that was such an incredible match. You see they're happy. You see that they know they did their best, and they're happy with these results.
I mean, it's fantastic, and we've mentioned it so many times. Sicky is an incredible story. For him to come back to back to back, 3-time land boy with 2 different teammates every single time, and for him to take them this far, he gets talked about not being the most known because he's kind of always in that backfield, but his play is unmatched. Like, his positioning is unbelievable. Like, how do you replace a player like that? Like, Sicky is
he's incredible on the team, but again, we got to give credit to all those guys. I mean, so one more for those guys, but we do have our winners on stage. It's going to be Remco from Northern Gaming to see what they thought about that match.
All right, guys, chilling with Remco here, who had a stellar performance, I'd say. Now, you guys had to sit there and watch Leftovers just play in their last series. You guys saw how they cranked it up, just put up an onslaught of offense, crazy opportunities that they capitalized on. Now, coming into this game, did that change your mindset at all, seeing how well they just got done playing?
Yeah, I mean, they played really good against Flipside. I was never expecting them to actually beat Flipside, but I also think Flipside themselves were kind of had an off day. A couple own goals here and there was kind of tilting for them, I guess. So yeah, we thought Leftovers was going to be a very tough match, and it was, but we pulled out a 3-0, and I'm glad.
Very nice. Yeah, I assume, knowing how the Leftovers like to play when they're down, going into that third game, it had to be a little bit nerve-wracking thinking, are they going to do this again?
When they were up 2-0 in that third game, I was like, this is going to be a classic Leftovers reverse sweep, but no, it didn't happen. We brought it back 2-2 really fast in a couple, or like half a minute maybe, and ended up winning overtime, so that was really good.
Great thing. So anything else you'd like to say before moving on?
Thank you guys so much, and I hope we get at least some support if we're playing an American team again, aka NRG, but we'll see about that.